on this 2010 to 2017 Honda Accord with the 2.4 gas engine, B1229, in the climate control unit means the system is seeing an open in the sunlight sensor circuit. In plain language, the HVAC control may be losing the sun load input it uses for climate decisions. The vehicle may have odd automatic climate behavior, and the possible fault areas can include the sunlight sensor, the sensor wiring and connectors, or the climate control unit side of the circuit. Start by proving whether the code is current before getting into wiring checks. First, clear the DTC with the HDS. Then cycle the vehicle power. Turn the ignition switch to lock 0 and back to on Roman 2, or use the engine start/stop button to go to OFF mode and then on mode. Run the self-diagnostic function with the HDS or through the climate control unit, then check for DTCs. If B1229 or indicator 07 comes right back, continue with the circuit checks. If it does not come back, treat it as an intermittent fault and look closely for loose wires or poor connections in the sunlight sensor circuit. With the fault verified, shut the vehicle back down. Ignition switch at lock 0 or OFF mode with the start/stop button. Disconnect the climate control unit 32P connector and disconnect the sunlight sensor connector. For a vehicle without automatic lighting, the sunlight sensor connector is the 2P connector. For a vehicle with automatic lighting, it is the 7P connector. Now check continuity on the Tsun line. At the climate control unit, use 32P connector No. 25 the PUR wire. At the sunlight sensor, use No. 2 the PUR wire, whether it is the 2P connector or the 7P connector. If continuity is present, the Tsun wire is not open, so move on. If continuity is not present, repair the open between the climate control unit and the sunlight sensor. Next, keep the connectors disconnected and check the sensor COM line. At the climate control unit, use 32P connector No. 22 the BLU wire. Without automatic lighting, check to sunlight sensor 2P connector No. 1 the BLU wire. With automatic lighting, check to sunlight sensor 7P connector No. 3 the BLU wire. If you have continuity, the sensor COM wire is okay and you keep going. If you do not have continuity, repair the open between the climate control unit and the sunlight sensor. After both open checks pass, check whether the Tsun line is shorted to the S5V or S5V line. Keep the ignition at lock 0 or OFF mode, and keep the climate control unit 32P connector and sunlight sensor 2P or 7P connector disconnected. Check continuity between climate control unit 32P connector No. 24 the BLK wire and No. 25 the PUR wire. If there is continuity, repair the short between the climate control unit and the sunlight sensor. If there is no continuity, the Tsun and S5V/S5V wiring checks have passed. Once the wiring checks pass, reconnect the climate control unit 32P connector and test the sunlight sensor. Do not make the final part decision until that sensor test has been completed by a known good method. The detailed sunlight sensor test information is not included in this diagnostic path, so pause there instead of guessing. If the sunlight sensor tests okay, the next call is the climate control unit. If the sunlight sensor does not test okay, the next call is the sunlight sensor. The main idea on B1229 is simple. Prove the code is current, verify the two sunlight sensor circuit paths, rule out the Tsun to S5V short, and only then make the sensor versus control unit decision. For more diagnostic training, visit Diagnostics.com.